Axalara? I would have remembered you. Why is your name Axalara? There are no axes anywhere on you.
Oh yeah, I remember the day I named you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the recap review. Today we're going to be looking at set number 8943, the Axalara T9. The set contains approximately 693 pieces, was released in the summer of 2008, and during time of release was approximately $80. Yikes. This is the behemoth of 2008. Here we have it, Lewa's big spud puppy of a vehicle, the Axalara T9. It is the third in the T series of vehicles. So, before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and get the disclaimer out of the way while I remember. Just because a pro or con is in this video does not necessarily mean that it is my personal opinion. Unless I explicitly say so, please do not assume that it is. I do my best to keep these reviews as objective as possible, and all opinions stated here are either those taken from the community or objective facts about the set I can represent on screen. Alright? Alright. Let's get into the review. Let's start off with the driver. Obviously, it's Lewa, so we're going to need to take him off of the vehicle. And this is an involved process. All you need to do is pop his hands off. Give these red axles back. Okay, pop his feet off. And we'll be good. There we go. There we are. So Lewa actually is one of the weaker points of this vehicle. Not a whole lot has changed from him compared to his old form. I'm not even going to bother taking the Axalara off screen. It's just too big. So here is the Lewa for the Axalara, and the only two new components he has are his mask, which you can see here, and the visor behind it. And it has all these really neat, intricate detailings, and it looks really nice. It's got these giant 4 fins. Put it back. Put back on. Now, to compare the two and show you guys how little has actually changed, there's a Lewa from earlier in the year, in the winter. And as you can tell, really not much has changed. They have different feet, they don't have all the weaponry, and the masks have changed, although not even all that much. They're really similar. So you have it. There is the comparison. Not a whole lot has changed. Let's get both of them out of the way. And let's focus on the Axalara. This thing is huge. As you can see, it does have a handle right down here made of Technic, and so you can pick it up, and it is really big. It's actually quite hefty, quite heavy. So this thing has a lot of functions, and let's go ahead and try and go over them actually in just a moment. First of all, as far as new pieces are concerned, there aren't any. As far as new recolors are concerned, we have 3 of the new shield piece in matte red, 1 for the console, and the other 2 up here. And other than that, there is not really a whole lot new. Some wave pieces, I guess the wings and the thrusters, but that's really about it. So, let's get into functionality. So let's start small and work our way up. So first of all, we do have the landing gear. The Axalara, I think, is the only one that has landing gear. Granted, it's the only one that needs it. So you go ahead and pick it up, turn it inward toward the driver, and the gear will come up or go down. Now when it's up, it gives it a real streamlined look. It's really cool. Then back here you have 2 gears, 2 levers. This one, you bring it back. Nope. You can also bring it forward. This is the only one that works both ways. And you have this kind of 4-pronged attack. It's really big. It's really wide. I can't get in the entire shot. And there we go. And you see these all kind of extend and then you go ahead and no, you're gonna fold back. There we go. And then they all come back. So they all work in synchronization. I think these are called the tricyclone blades. I'm not really sure. There you go. It's really, really cool when they're all out. They're all out. And be warned though, because it's using gears, these giant gears, to kind of make the function go, you might hear a squeak. That's because of dust over many, 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 many years. And that is one of the major issues with the Axalara. If it gets really dusty, even if you wash it thoroughly, you scrub it down, doesn't matter. You have to take the set apart completely and then really scrub the gears singularly in order for them to work properly. The dust will really cake itself in there and it's really hard to get off. So clean it regularly. Go ahead and show that. These two giant thrusters in the back here, really, really cool. They look simply phenomenal. Just really big, a lot of power being put back here. And as you can see, we do have this contraption. This is another way you can turn it, just from the back here. I'll extend them all the way. And you can close it up. It's a great function. Really cool for being battle ready. Now the other really cool function this has, well, before we get to that one right behind it. It has a compartment. You can store things in here. I've never really seen anything stored in here, personally. There aren't any Zamor spheres that go in here, so you just kind of have this really cool compartment and opens and closes, and that's about it. Now the really cool function on the Axalara is right here. Take this gear, right over here, back toward the driver. Boom! Oh yeah! Twin Midax Sky Blasters roll out. These come up, these come out, and you can shoot them, you can fire them. Won't demonstrate that here. But it's a really excellent function. And that way you can have both kind of these out, and then these out, and it looks absolutely awesome. It just looks really cool. The function is really well designed. It's a phenomenal design. Only the turn of a gear, boom, these things flip out. Now, again, as with these over here, they use the same gear system, and because there's a lot more weight on it, it's a lot more detrimental when it gets dust. So, for instance, I'm turning back all my might. They will not go back in unless I manually close them. And that's after many, many, many minutes spent cleaning and scrubbing, personally going in there and scrubbing. So be very careful when it comes to dust with this vehicle, because I managed to get it to do that, which is great, but it has to be closed manually. So those are the functions for the Axalara. Really fantastic. A lot of great playability in this set. So let's go ahead and get Lewa back on there. It's a really easy process. Just go ahead and do this. His feet connect back here. And then you go ahead, flip it around. The other side looks about the same, so it's a symmetric set. Go ahead and get his other foot right on there. And then you kind of scrunch him down, make him look like he's really getting in the action. And his hands go on like so. Kind of arch his back. And there you go. Really easy to do. Not a whole lot involved in this process. Although you do kind of want to be careful. Get him down a bit in there, because this might occasionally clip him. So right now we got a lot of room, so that's good. Then just go ahead, flip it back around. So there you have it. The color scheme, really consistent. It does have a lot of grays, of course, to kind of accent the red. So grays and silvers and blacks, and that's not a surprise. It is a primarily Technic built set. Back in 2008, this set actually did win an award. It's a French award. I don't recall the name, but if you go over to Bionicle Sector 01 and look up the Axalara, you will be able to find it. So it did win an award, a prestigious toy award, I believe, and that's rather impressive. But it's also not a surprise. This is actually a really well-constructed set. Of course, being Technic, you are going to find a lot of gaps, so if gaps bug you, you are not going to like that. Of course, it does look a little bit tubular. There is a lot of flat red and flat grays on it. A lot of blue pins that also contrast or clash against the red, although one could make the argument that so does Lewa and is green. The front up here, it's kind of an unusual design. It's not really flowing per se. It looks almost like thrusters, the front of these giant engines. And then this is a little bit weird right here. Not really sure why that is the case. Kind of just breaks up the flow for that. So there is that. Again, the major issue is with the dust. The dust is going to really clog this set up. It's going to cause a lot of issues with the gears. So you got to be really careful about that. But other than that, it looks really cool. I mean, when it works, it does work. And the functionality is rather fantastic. And Lewa does look quite menacing and works well with the colors of the Axalara being a brighter green to kind of work with the red just a bit. Again, the functionalities, it has so many of them. The play features, it's just through the roof. You've got the storage compartment here. You've got the Midex Sky Blasters. You've got these right here. You've got that. And then you got the handle. And you can kind of just, boom, swish it around. Boom, close that up. Boom. You get the idea. There is so much to do with this set. And it's a really great display piece as well. If you just want to have it hanging up in the living room or hanging up in your room, it looks great. It looks really cool, especially with these out and these out all the way and Lewa on it. It looks really, really cool. So, there's not a whole lot more to say about it. It just is cool. Of course, I've made the issues known to you guys. It does have some, if you don't like gaps, you will not like gaps. There are a lot of blue pins in the set. And dust on the gears is a killer. It's very difficult to get the dust off these gears when it is caked on. So, that about sums it up. That has been the Axalara T9. What do you guys think about this set? Did you ever get it? Do you like it? Please feel free to let me know down in the comments below or on the TTV message boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. Join me next week when I go over one of the smaller sets from this year. Clack. Thanks for watching, and have a great week.